Hello again, dancers. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kendall. I'm going over hypermobility today. So this is not going to be a video about how to become hypermobile because we don't want to become more hypermobile, you guys. Hypermobility is actually something that is common with a lot of dancers because we're born with those joint positions, right? So hypermobility is if I have my arm fully straight out, I'm gonna see a straight line from one bone to the other. Hypermobility is when I have even more of an extension. Let's see, this elbow is a little bit more hyperextended so you can see a bit better. It's not quite a straight line. This would be a straight line. This is fully straight. It goes a little bit more there. Some dancers have way more hypermobility. I'll put some pictures here of my friend who is very hypermobile. She will love to show you guys her hyperextended elbows and knees. But what I want you to be thinking about when it comes to hypermobility is know what it is, know the dangers of it. And if you suspect that you might be hypermobile, we're gonna go through a couple tests that can tell you whether or not you might have some hypermobility in your body. So first of all, if you have hypermobility, here are some symptoms that you might feel. If you have hypermobility in your arm, for instance, or in your elbow joint, you might sometimes feel some pain through the middle part of the elbow, especially when your arms are locked. You might also feel the same thing when you are standing, and if you have hyperextended knees, when you straighten your knees, if they go back a little bit further, you might experience a lot of increased flexibility behind the knee, but maybe some pain through the front of the knee here. So a lot of times with hypermobility does come some chronic pain. So oftentimes it's not something we want to aspire for. It's something that we want to be cautious of. And there are practices for younger dancers where I've seen teachers literally force these young dancers with growing bones into various positions to try to force their hypermobility when they don't have hypermobility to begin with. And that can be a really dangerous practice because not only do you have the joints and the two bones that are together, but you have all these ligaments and tendons that surround the muscle and, surround the joint. And we want to protect those tendons and ligaments because they're not supposed to stretch out. We just want the muscles to stretch out and the tendons a little bit. The ligaments, we don't really want them to stretch out. They're there for joint stability and integrity. And when we stretch them out too much, that's when we see more injuries and more instability, like more wobble through the ankle, more wobble through the knee, etc. So let's go over the first test for hypermobility. It's called the Beighton score. The Beighton score was discovered quite a while ago. It's a tool for various positions to test if you have hypermobility. There are some limitations, which I'll go over at the end. But first, it's on a scale of 1 to 9 or 0 to 9. And you're gonna give yourself a point for every action that you can do. Then we'll add up our points at the end, and then we'll talk about it, okay? So for the first one, I want you to look at your elbows. Take one arm out to the side. Is it fully straight or does it press up a little bit higher in the center? If it is hyperextended, give yourself a point. Same thing with the other arm. Fully straighten it out. If it's in a straight line or it's slightly hyperextended, give yourself a point there. Next, we're going to lift our arm up, drop the palm down, and find our thumb. If you can bring your thumb to touch all the way to your forearm, give yourself a point. Mine gets close, but I can't quite do it. And then other side, same thing. Thumb comes in towards the forearm. If it touches the forearm, give yourself a point. Next one is the pinky fingers. So if I have my hand flat here and I lift my pinky finger up, if it gets to 90 degrees or further, give yourself a point. Don't let these other fingers move though. I only want you to lift the pinky up without the other fingers moving. So with that one, I do have a bit of hypermobility. I'm gonna give myself a point. On the other side, lift up. This side, I get another point. My current score is 2. All right, after that, we stand, we look at the knees. So as I bend and straighten the knee, and I fully straighten here, am I going back in a straight line or do they press back further? Might be helpful to look at yourself in a mirror here as well. For me, this knee does not press back further, but my other knee definitely does press back a little bit further than my left. So I'm gonna give myself another point just for one leg. So 1 point for each side. And then the last one, if you can reach down, touch your toes and put your whole hand on the floor, then give yourself another point. So for me, my score was 4. We're gonna add up how many points you have out of 9. If you have a score of 4 or beyond, then you might have some hypermobility going on in your body. If you have a score of 0 to 3, probably not as hypermobile as you might think. Now, there are some limitations to this scoring. It's very upper body biased. As you can see, we did elbows, we did thumb, wrist, finger, but we only did the knees and a little bit of the back, which when it comes to this exercise, coming down and holding the stretch, most dancers with adequate flexibility can put their whole hand on the ground. So that doesn't necessarily, to me, mean that you're hypermobile. It could be that you are also flexible, right? There are other scores out there that have more recently come out, and I'm gonna put it listed up here. It's more of like a survey-based questionnaire that you can see if you experience any other symptoms of hypermobility, because there are different types and different spectrums of hypermobility. There is something called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder, which causes that hypermobility and causes other issues in the body related to the connective tissue. So you might experience some other symptoms that are related to your digestive system or your nervous system, your skin, things like that. But I'll put a link in the description below so you can read through that as well if you would like. But I hope that this video was a little bit more educational about hypermobility and how we can be aware of it as dancers and teachers. If you are hypermobile and you're experiencing any pain in your body, I recommend that you go see a physical therapist to kind of help you out, because joint stability and muscle strength is really going to be important for you to maintain your alignment and keep your joints happy and healthy. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys next week.